Today I'm going to show you how to edit Dark and Moody in Lightroom. Welcome back to another Lightroom editing tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about how to edit a dark and moody image in Lightroom. Dark and moody images can look really cool. You have that really big contrast and you see a lot of crushed colors and there isn't much detail. And so if we look at this image right here, you don't really see that much detail in the background. And even the highlights, there isn't that much detail. But if you look at a quick before, you can see there's actually a lot of detail hidden behind that. And you really want to get rid of that to get that moody look. You don't really want much detail in there, you just want that contrast. And so if you look at it after, you can see I got rid of a lot of the detail here and just kind of kept the focus on the main subject of the image. And you can see there's that really moody coloring too. You can get that really dark blue and then the bright orange red. And so that really adds to the effect of being dark and really moody. I also have a video on how to edit in a moody green style, so be sure to go check that out. I'll leave a link down in the description below. And before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Lightroom editing tutorials, and let me know down in the comments below what other presets or videos you would like to see. I went ahead and made a virtual copy just to get started with a clean edit. I'm going to first do some basic edits, and then the tone curve is where the majority of the work is going to be done. So first I actually want to start off by making the temperatures just a little cooler. Dark and moody images tend to have like a bluish hue to it, so definitely want to start that off. I also want to make the tint slightly a little purple, just to give that almost vintage look to it. Next I want to bring up the exposure just a little bit. Since we're going to be crushing a lot of the details, you want to make the image just a little brighter so you don't make the image too dark afterwards. I do want to add a little bit of contrast, even though we're going to be getting rid of a lot of it. Still want to have just a little bit there to make the image a little more interesting. Now with the highlights, I'm going to decrease the highlights, kind of get rid of all that detail up there. And then with the shadows, I'm going to increase the shadows, kind of bring out more detail in the background. The whites I'm going to decrease, kind of getting rid of that detail there. And same with the blacks, I'm going to decrease that. Now with the texture, I'm going to increase the texture. There we go. A lot of dark and moody images have that little bit of texture and that graininess to it. Definitely want to add that. Now I'm going to increase some of the clarity and also some of the dehaze. There we go. So I'm going to decrease the vibrance just a little bit and then increase the saturation. Alright, there we go. So now I just do some basic edits, kind of clean up the image a little bit. As you can see, it's already getting towards that moody look, but now we're going to be moving on to the tone curve, and that's where the majority of the edit's going to be. To usually get that moody look, we always go for an S curve, but in this edit we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and we're not going to be creating any other points, we're just working with the two we have at the end. And so what I want to do with this darkest point right here is to bring it up, and you can see as I bring it up, it starts to get rid of that detail in the darkest parts of the image. So I'm going to bring that over up, bring that over right here, there we go. I want to do the same with the brightest parts of the image, kind of bring that down. There we go. You can see just from a before and after with that got rid of a lot of the detail in the image, and so it's already starting to create that really moody effect. Now that we've done that, we move on to the red tone curve and kind of do something similar. So I'm going to bring up the darkest parts, bring that up to right here, and then same with the brightest parts. I'm going to bring that down, kind of adjusting it towards the blue a little bit, then adjust this red down over here. And you can see it's kind of starting to affect the colors, but as we do the other ones, it's going to kind of even out. And so now we're going to move on to the green tone curve. And so with this one, I'm going to do the same thing. Bring up the darkest parts. There we go. And then bring down the brightest parts of the image. Make it a little bit towards the purple. And then adjust this a little bit towards the green. Now we're going to move on to the blue. So with this, take the darkest parts of the image, bring it up just a little bit towards the yellow. There we go. And then with the brightest parts, adjust a little bit towards the blue. There we go. Adjust the green a little bit. There we go. And just the reds, make it a little bit more blue. There we go. And so with these, you have to adjust the colors a little bit to get it just how you want them. If you go up, it goes towards the red. If it goes down, then it goes towards like a tealish, bluish color. And so definitely whatever color you want to go for, just adjust it up or down accordingly. So now if we go back here and just do a quick before and after, you can see you got rid of a lot of the detail in the background and in the highlights. And this gave it that really moody effect that we're going for. So that was achieved with the tone curve alone. And so there's a lot of cool things you can do with this, and this is one of the ways you can get that moody effect. So now we're going to move on to the HSL, and so there we're just going to fine tune the colors and adjust them the way we want it. So with this orange right here, I'm going to adjust that a little bit towards orange, but I want to make that go towards like a little red too, so I'm going to adjust that. There we go. So that looks about right. And then with the yellow, I also want to adjust that towards like the orange. Alright, now with the saturation, I'm going to desaturate those colors since they're a little bit harsh. I don't want them too harsh. And then the orange, decrease that. And the yellow, adjust that a little bit more. There you go. So these are a little bit dark, so I do want to increase the luminance of those. The red and orange. I'm going to decrease the yellows a little bit. Alright, there you go. So you can see with this alone I was able to adjust just the brighter reds and oranges and just fine tune those colors. Now we're going to move on to the greens, aquas, and blues. And so that kind of adjusts the background over here. So with the green, I'm going to push that all the way towards like the yellow. Alright. And then the aqua, I'm going to push that up more towards like the blue. And then the blue, I'm going to push that down with aqua. Alright, there you go. Now with the saturation, I'm going to desaturate the greens. Same with the aquas, going to desaturate that a little bit. But with the blues, I'm actually going to increase the saturation on that. Bring that over to around there. Alright. Now with the green, I'm going to bring the darkness a little bit down. And then with the aquas and blues, I'm going to increase the brightness just so we can see a little bit more of it. And then blue a little bit more. Alright. So now we're going to be adjusting the purple and magentas. So with purple, I'm going to bring that over towards like a blue. There you go, and then increase magenta towards the red. Alright. Then I'm going to decrease the saturation on the purple. And then increase it on the magenta. There we go. Now with the luminance, I'm going to bring down the luminance for the purple. Then increase it for magenta. So now let's just look at a quick before and after. You can see I was able to get that teal and orange gel look. Gonna fine tune the colors a little bit, make them look much better. So now we're gonna move on to the color grading. So this is where we'll add that tone to the highlights, shadows, and midtones. First, I'm gonna go to the shadows. With the shadows, I kind of want to add that bluish tint to it. So I'm gonna bring that over. And around there looks pretty good. So now with the highlights, I want to add a little bit of orange there. Bring that over to like orange yellow. Alright. That looks really good. Now with the midtones, I actually want to move that towards like a purple. And so a lot of the dark and moody images have that slight hint of purple in there, so I'm going to adjust the colors to that. There we go. So now if we look at it before and after, just kind of fine tune, added that little tone of color in the background and some in the highlights and midtones. So now we're going to move on to the detail, kind of sharpen the image up a little bit. Increase sharpening. And then add some detail and mask that, press Alt or Option. mask that towards the edges. There we go. And same with the noise, increase noise reduction, and then add a little bit of detail. There we go. Now we'll move on to the camera calibration and just fine tune the colors a little bit more. So with the tint, I'm going to bring that more towards the purple, since the dark and moody images tend to have a little bit of that. There we go. So with the red primer, I'm going to bring the hue down towards the red, and then decrease the saturation on that. Alright. With the green, I'm going to increase that, and then desaturate it. And with the blue, I'm going to bring that down towards the teal, and then increase the saturation. So you can see, just kind of fine tune the colors a little bit. So this is the final edit. You can see for the quick before and after, it's really able to get that dark and moody look and add that really contrasty color to this image. And so that's how you edit dark and moody images in Lightroom. Thank you so much for watching today's tutorial on how to edit dark and moody images in Lightroom. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe for more Lightroom editing tutorials. And let me know down in the comments below what other presets or videos you would like to see. Thanks for watching!